Hi, this is Catherine Dubberly, the Answer Lady. I've created a new stitch for loom knitters called the Wavy Lines Cable. It's surrounded by a little bit of laciness. Let's just get right into it. Here is a wavy cable stitch for you to work on. I'm making this on the regular gauge Kiss loom that has 19 pegs along a side, but I want to be clear that the cable could be made on any loom. If you would rather use a Kiss small gauge loom, simply put 3 or 4 washers in there to get the same gauge, or use a finer yarn. And you can just use a different yarn for different gauges of loom. There are a couple of notable things about this stitch. First of all, the right side is the back side of the fabric as you knit it. We're actually knitting from here, and this side is not as pretty. I did it in this manner because the transfers are simpler and there are fewer purl stitches, and most knitters enjoy the knit stitch more than the purl stitch. Second, it pulls in as you see and makes a deeply textured stitch, but if we used it for a yoke sideways, it would seem to have lacy holes in it. It would have lacy holes in it, and you can see how that develops as we go. At each edge, there is some garter stitch keeping the panel from rolling. If you were making this at the center of a big sweater, you don't need the garter stitch to keep it from rolling, though you may want it for texture. And if you want to use this as a motif on a larger item than these 19 pegs, you could put 2 side by side with some garter stitch between them maybe, or seed stitch, or you could do any number of things. Just add more garter stitch, add 2 cables almost touching each other with garter stitch on the other side to make a bigger scarf, because this is not very wide. It's only between 4 and 5 inches. I'm putting my hand on it so you get an idea. Now what I'm going to do is divide the video series into 2-row increments so that you can easily follow along. So move on to the next video and we'll do rows 1 and 2.